Alright. And then put this up. I'm gonna lock everything because I know I'll fuck around and accidentally move it. Bang, 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 bang.
I know where my microphone comes from now.
We're on the main.
We're on the main.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, fellas.
Welcome to the first inaugural daily, weekly, 5 days a week, whatever you
Uh,
need to hear.
Shout out to Crutchley for the opening intro beats.
Yeah.
Crutchley and Shawnee D.
Yeah, over there on the beats in the background there. Thank you, boys.
All right, fella. What are we discussing today for our first day? There's been shit popping in the sports industry.
Yes, there
There's been
has.
things going on.
There has for, so it's typically a lull, that pre-postseason for NHL, NBA, no football, hockey's just kind of, or baseball's just kind of starting and cruising. Not a lot going on theoretically, but boys, there's some wacky stuff. I think I want to start with the Rogers situation.
Oh, I love the Rogers situation.
It's starting to seem more and more like he's probably just going to be in Green Bay again.
No. I don't want him to be. By the way, I would like to point out that before this whole thing started, I said Denver. And then everyone's like, oh, he should go to Denver. And then remember, I said the second team I think is the Miami Dolphins. Yeah. And now Bleacher Report just came out with how he should be going to the Miami Dolphins and how they're the best fit.
Yes.
I still would like to see Denver. Although I do think Miami would be sick.
I just feel like, I don't know. But that stuff that came out with Schefter when he said, oh, I didn't have a specific source from Rodgers or the Packers. It was a combination of... All right, dude. And
that was
just happened to have the combination come out on what, draft day? so that
Rodgers is up to something. He's doing something. He's up to something. There's no way he would have let Schefter tweeted that unless Schefter was like, Aaron, can I tweet this? And like he's like, yes, please tweet that. Like there's no way he would have allowed that.
I feel like he's just trolling.
I feel like he is too, but I don't know what he's up to. What is he doing? What is he trying to get out of this? Like a freaking 5-year contract?
This to me is seeming a bit like the Russ situation.
Yeah. I just feel like Russ wasn't as openly like, I'm gone.
No, but the thing was, Russ's actual team was like, we don't want to be here. Like, we're out. We're done. And I don't know, man. I think it's a bit, I don't know. Because now it's coming out that it was based on like his comments at the end of the year when he was just like, oh, who knows where I'll be. But I feel like that was just aloof Rodgers being aloof. And it makes it a little hard to, I don't know. I don't see the trade package that works for it. I don't see.
That's the thing I don't see. I don't understand how you can come up with a trade package that works.
And the only way that he's out of there without a fair trade is if he is like, if he's we'll see at OTAs. That's what I think the main thing is. If he skips anything, it's a whole different story.
Where does he want to go? He definitely wants to go to Miami, right? Like you don't want to go to Denver. Besides the fact that
Cleveland.
No, Cleveland announced yesterday that they're full in on Baker Mayfield. They don't want to trade.
Well, that's silly.
I agree. I would completely agree with that.
Well, that's all right, Cleveland.
That's not smart, but hey, good for them. I just, man, the trade package, because you have to get a first rounder for it. You have to. You have to get borderline 2 first-round picks, I would think. Maybe like a first and a third, and then a key player. Like you have quarterback back.
So depends.
Green Bay gets Tua.
Because then it's like, do you even want a quarterback though? If you have Jordan Love, you spent a first-round pick on last year, do you really want Tua? Do you want to?
And then they didn't go QB, and then they didn't go QB from the draft this year.
Right. So
like they were very clearly like on Jordan Love.
Yeah, so I feel like if they were to get someone else, especially like, Tua would be hilarious from the same class and just like have fun, boys.
Also, what a kick in the dick to Aaron where he's like, hey, I'm going to leave, like, it, blah, 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 you guys haven't done anything for me. And then their first round pick is a corner. Like, it would have been one thing if management was like, hey, guys, like, we kind of fucked up a little bit. We should take him, like, let's grab a wide receiver. Let's do offensive lineman. Let's do something. No, first pick, cornerback. Like, big old, hey, Aaron, bye.
As expected.
Bye, Aaron.
It was exactly what you'd think they would do and what you were like, Please don't do again.
Yeah, like, can you just be nice to him for one? Just even if he is on his way out, like, just appease the guy one time. One time in his whole career, please. And they're like, yeah, I think our secondary needs more help.
Now here's the thing though that I do think about. Like obviously there's all the stats on Packers not drafting offensive but and I don't know if it's a case of Rodgers elevating players around him or what, but I also feel like, you know what? Dude's got Devontae Adams. Dude's got I mean, I
See,
suppose
like,
the
I feel
West
like
are
as
receivers after that.
the past 2-3 years, I can make a case for Aaron like having weapons around him. But
Yeah.
before that, this man had been
No, it's
stranded
true.
there,
Before
like
that,
absolute.
I mean, yeah, there was a little because then before he had like Cobb, Jordy.
Yeah, but like Cobb and Jordy, like Randall Cobb went other places, and we saw that he wasn't like anything
That's
spectacular.
true.
And then Jordy went other places, and we saw that Jordy wasn't. I mean, it was towards the end of his career, but we also
Yeah.
saw that Jordy wasn't anything spectacular. Like Devontae Adams is good. Devontae Adams is elite and can get off that line quicker than anyone. But my whole thing is, and I've said it every single time, who's the best player who's ever shared a huddle with Aaron Rodgers? And right now, the answer is probably Devontae Adams, but before that, it was Bakhtiari, and that was it. Like that is clear cut the number one guy that's ever shared that huddle, and like that's not that impressive. Like Kirk Cousins been with the Vikings for what, 4 years, and has probably already shared a huddle with like three better players.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah, that is true.
Baker Mayfield has already shared a huddle with better players. Like that's absurd. This dude's been on this team forever.
But their wide receiver depth is actually pretty good because along with Adams they have Lazard. He had a great season.
He's very good.
Valdez Scantling, Devin
Mhm.
Funchess, and then I think, and then at running back Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are a solid duo as well.
Yeah. I also think like seeing Tampa Bay this year probably pissed off Aaron a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Like, hey, you got Tom Brady, Antonio, like off a whim, you got him Antonio Brown. He's got Goodwin sitting there. He's got Gronk. He's got Mike Evans. He's got like literally everything he needs. And then they gave him 2-3 extra running backs. They built out his offensive line. I'm sure Aaron's sitting there like, dude, like I've been here for how long?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have just done that for me? I'd be pissed.
Yeah, they need to do something. They just needed to do something to make it seem like they were willing to at least.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean, if he's out of my division, Minnesota's division, I'll be pretty
you are
happy.
the NFC North boy.
I would love to see, but now that Justin Fields is here, I'm scared again of another team. So, by the way, apparently, Vikings called like 4 through 11 trying to get Justin Fields.
Really?
Couldn't get him.
I heard the Packers were hiring him as well.
I think everyone kind of was, and then we all got screwed over because now Chicago has them.
Yeah, well, there's Chicago. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but they've never had a quarterback in the history of the world, so.
I hope this one doesn't pan over him. Like,
I hope
just trade for him.
I hope it's a little like a smoking Jay Cutler, where he just gets depressed and then has to leave, and then he's never quite the same man.
It's seriously what it is. All right, next topic. What do we got? Well, God, the NFL is gonna be so weird this year with the salary cap and everything. It's gonna screw up so much shit. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean,
Eagles are gonna be terrible.
Yeah, maybe, probably. However, I also have $20 on them winning the NFC East.
Nice.
Is it plus 1,300? And I was like, dang, all you gotta.
That's absurd.
You just gotta be better than the Washington football team.
Yeah, that is really crazy. That.
Now I'm kind of interested. I want to think QB situation because I kind of forgot about that the draft happened. And so Packers, we have no idea.
No idea.
Either Love or Rodgers unless something else crazy happens.
Which I don't think it does. I think Washington football team is good this year with Fitz. I think it's like one person that they kind of needed.
Yeah. Also,
like,
Heineke's fun.
Yeah. I don't think they have a problem there. I mean, I'm really shocked they didn't make a push for a first round QB because that's like the one piece that they need right now. But I mean, grab another defensive all-star. You got Fitz for a year at least.
You know,
maybe.
I think that's the way you build a team. When the Eagles' best years, it was after like 6, 7 years of first round picks being either D line, O line, D line, O line, and that's when I was like, wow, they have such a tough D line. Their O line's best in the league. It's just so great. You just have to put a first, second round pick into it every single year, and it's not. I don't think it's ever a bad move.
I don't think I'm excited to bet on NFL this year.
Really?
I'm
Yeah,
never
it's
really
gonna be
excited for
weird.
NFL. You know, I hate betting on NFL because it's the most saturated thing ever. But this year's just gonna be nuts. I feel like.
Yeah, I think. I mean, so the Pats go Cam until they don't want to anymore.
No, they go Mac right off the
You
rip.
think they go Mac off the rip?
He's the most NFL ready QB of any of them, I would think. He's the only one who's actually played in an NFL scheme
That's true.
against like consistent NFL players. Because most of the people in his conference are going to the NFL, or like the big games he plays against.
That's true. That is
While Trevor Lawrence just has an all NFL team on his team and plays against like D3 schools for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Like he's
I don't
damn
know.
good. Don't get me wrong, he's damn good. But like you're also from Clemson. You've also had the number one defensive line for 4 years. You've had basically the number one offensive line for
Oh,
four
I
years.
agree with that with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
He's been on a stacked team,
yeah.
and
I think he's gonna.
really
I think he's gonna get dick smacked in a real taste of competition when he
You
steps foot
think
on the
so? You
field for
think
the
he's
first
just
time.
gonna get smacked around?
I think he's gonna try and run the first time, and he's going to get absolutely
He's gonna be slower than he was in
bulldozed.
college.
And I think he's gonna sit there and be like, "Whoa, this is not the same thing." And he doesn't have 45 seconds to throw every ball, and he doesn't have wide receivers that are 30 feet beyond their corners. I think he's just gonna get a different taste of things. I don't see him as ready as Joey was. I think Joey was like more than ready to go for the NFL.
There you go. So, and then let's see, AFC East. Bills go with Allen. That's easy. The Jets. We know what they're gonna do.
Suck.
Yep. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
And then the Dolphins. Tua. That's kind of a shame.
Aaron.
Well, I would hate again. I've said it. I will buy a Dolphins jersey in every color scheme. If Aaron Rodgers goes there, that's a beautiful jersey. And that'd
It would
be
be
a
a
fun
sick
team.
jersey.
Because, man, I really like that team. And it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not high on Tua. I feel like.
Well, the best part would be too if Aaron went to Miami, you'd see them get a lot of players very quickly.
Yeah,
Like
they would.
shit, Miami, and they've got Aaron Rodgers. Like we saw what happened with Tom and Tampa.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna be the exact same
wants to
thing.
go
They're
down
just
to
gonna
Florida and just
yeah, they're just gonna stack
win
that
some
team.
rings.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see these. I've always been like an anti, like all-star, all-time anti like just one of those like stacked teams because I feel like every sport's doing it and basketball absolutely ruined the whole sport with it. But it's kind of interesting in the NFL because the NFL is so competitive already.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't really stack a team. I mean, the Bucks tried and they did it successfully, but like you still ran into problems. Like you're not going to win.
You can only stack a team to become competitive. You can never guarantee anything beyond. I mean,
the NFL is just too hard.
You can it's
too hard to win games.
If you can make a crazy push. I mean, even before the season with the Bucks, after they made all the moves they made, and after we saw Tom, after we saw Gronk, after we saw Antonio, after we saw playoff Lenny, after we saw those guys going there, it's so like, well, NFC South runs through the Saints, I don't know if they're gonna do it, even with all the guys.
NFC South runs through the Saints.
Well, they did win it.
I hate them though. God, I hate it.
Yeah, you do.
Stupid. All cheaters. And now they're getting bit in the ass by karma and they're bitching about it. I love it. Speaking of super stacked teams and different sports, the NBA play-in tournament
That's coming up.
a terrible idea.
I agree.
Such.
It made sense when the season didn't happen, but we already had a play-in tournament. It was called the regular season, and now we know where everyone stands.
Yeah, we've been doing a play-in tournament for 3 months now. Like that's the whole point. I just don't like man, maybe you just the 7 through the 10 seed and then you have the 7 and 8 play each other. So let me get this straight. The two teams that worked hard enough to get into the playoffs then have to play each other, while two teams that didn't make the playoffs have to play each other in order to get to the playoffs. Like that just seems very ridiculous.
Yes, that's correct. It is very ridiculous. I don't like it. All you're doing is making it more likely that a bad team makes the
Gets in
playoffs,
and gets
or
absolutely fucking destroyed first round.
or more likely that someone gets injured on a 7 or 8 seed team. Because right now, I mean, you look at the West, 7 and 8 is the Lakers and the Warriors,
Yeah.
and both of those teams can honestly beat the Jazz or the Suns, whoever they match up against. Both of them could.
Yeah. Well, and like if you're a Sixers fan right now, you hope to God the standings stay the way they are. I would much rather be playing the Hornets right now than the Wizards or the Pacers sneaking their way in. And they get healthy because the Pacers are hurt right now, waiting for the playoffs. Like, if you have to play the Wizards or the Pacers, like, not that the 76ers are going to have a problem because I think they're probably the best team in the East right now. Like, man, I'd much rather play the Hornets. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to play it. I don't want to play against a playing team.
Or if the Celtics somehow go down to 8, and then we have to face them, and it's like, well, hold on.
No, because the Celtics are actually 7 or gone now.
Really, they're just
which is ridiculous because the 7 and the 8 play for the 7th, and then the 9th and 10th play for the 8th. So you could be a 7 seed, lose your playing tournament game or lose your playing tournament and be kicked out of the playoffs. And as a 10 seed, you could now be the new 8 seed. That's just, man.
Oh no, no. Okay, so 7 and 8 play.
Yep.
The winner gets the 7th seed.
Yep.
The loser has to play the winner of the 9th.
Okay. That makes more sense.
That gets the 8th seed.
Okay.
So yeah, but if in that, the Hornets beat the Celtics and the Celtics get the 8th seed, then now we have to play the Celtics instead of the Hornets because
because and you're just giving and imagine like this is my thing too. Imagine being the Celtics at 7, right? You have the seed. Now you play the Hornets, you lose. Jaylen Brown goes down.
Right. Exactly.
In that game. You now play the next game without Jaylen Brown. Even if you win or lose that, you're done. Like you lose that, you're out. You win that, Jaylen Brown's done. You're not beating the 76ers without Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
I just don't like it, especially with how injuries are right now and how we're already resting players every other day. Like the NBA is already the bitchiest sport in the league, and now we have to play more games.
It doesn't make sense.
And of course, you got LeBron piping up. I hate it. Oh, that's because you're a 7th seed, dude.
Hey, but you know what?
It is a bad idea.
It is stupid.
It is bad. It's not. I don't know. Like, what's the point? Why? Is it because of the COVID thing? Is it just because more teams, more revenue because of playoffs? Like, just trying to get your ratings up. Like, what is the reason?
The NBA ratings have been like very, very low, and I think it's just you can give a name. You can say these are playoff games, even though even in the craziest situation that some 10 seed gets in, and then maybe wins of 1 7-game series, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's the thing. And looking at the East, you can see the Celtics doing something out of the low seed. Other than that, though, the Hornets, the Wizards, the Pacers. Wizards have been hot.
Wizards are hot right now. which
But
is like the scariest part because like this is the most perfect opportunity for the Wizards. Like this is the most beautiful thing that could have happened to them.
yeah,
Like they start shitty, they finally start getting hot, they squeak their way into a 9 or 10 seed, and now you just get to play.
they're
They get to play.
32. They're 32 and 36, and I don't know. I think maybe there should be a some kind of like standard for when a play-in has to happen. Like if there's a
Like
tie, if it's
if you're
within one
within X
game.
amount of X amount of games between this seed and this seed, then I would find that pretty cool because then it would come down to like every single game. Also,
I'm
dude,
trying.
seeing the Knicks in the 4 seed is the weirdest thing ever. 76ers, Nets, Bucks, Knicks. Like,
And then Hawks.
and then Hawks. Like,
Yeah.
what a weird year. We have been making so much money off the Knicks, so I don't care. But and
Shout
they
out to the
are
Knicks.
probably my new favorite team because I love them right now. Julius Randle should be an MVP.
They're a very very fun team. Uh, the Sixers are on an 8 game win streak. They
Yeah,
I'm
they
so
look
excited.
so good. They look so good. So good.
Well, I can't.
They're resting players at the right time too.
Yeah, and
They always have like Ben or Embiid playing at the same time. And if Embiid's playing, then they'll rest some other people because they're like, oh, he'll take it on by himself. But if Ben's playing, then they're like, all right, Seth and Spice, you gotta play too.
I just think the I'm sorry, but could you imagine that if before the year started you're like, yeah, Sixers are gonna have a pretty solid lead on the Nets going into the playoffs and the standings.
Yeah, like a whole 3 games ahead.
Yeah, with Harden, KD, Kyrie, and
Have all three of them played on the floor together this year?
I think
Maybe
maybe like
once.
3 times or something.
Because
Not
Harden was out with a hamstring before KD came back, I
yeah,
thought.
that's right. I think they played maybe 2 games together, 3 games together.
Good lord. Gotta love having super teams when you can't actually play them.
So let's say without any changes in the play-in, or I mean, I guess we can look at the 3 and 6 and the 4 and 5 games. They won't change, but so in the East we have Bucks Heat. I don't see much interesting happening there. I like the Heat. I like a lot of players on the Heat, but there's no one like Giannis, and there's no one that'll stop Giannis, and
No.
I just think that's easy. I think Knicks Hawks is gonna be
Knicks Hawks are gonna be
so fun.
electric.
That's
Also, I think the Knicks will slaughter them. I don't see the hype around the Hawks right now.
nah. I mean, they had a similarly bad start to the Knicks. You know,
Yeah.
they have their own quiet little comeback rally going on. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the Knicks are more likely to do more damage after the first round as well.
Yeah. They're like a yeah. They're just that scary team that feels like they're not gonna go away.
And then the West would be uh, Clippers
The West dude, the
Trailblazers.
West is so ugly.
Trailblazers could beat the Clippers in 7.
The Clippers are not that impressive right now, I think. I haven't been impressed with them. They're like really good, but man, they lose games that they should not be losing.
Yeah, exactly. And the Trailblazers win games they shouldn't win.
I agree.
And with that, could be an interesting season. Nuggets Mavs is I don't know.
That's Nugget. I think it's Nuggets all the way.
Yeah, I do too.
Porzingis just looks like a
Is it
Porzingis is just
Mavericks?
remember when Porzingis was like the great, like
Yeah,
supposed to be like the next best thing.
Godzingus.
Like the Knicks literally had his face plastered everywhere because it was like the only highlight of their team.
He was cool back then too. He
And
was
then he went to
really
Dallas, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Luca and Porzingis, this is gonna be nuts." And that was like the last time I heard about that duo.
he's barely played.
I know he's been hurt most of the time, but even when he does, I feel like he's not like
Because he's either
no one's talking about that.
because he's just like coming off injury or he's injured. And
Going right back onto it.
Yeah.
I know, that's a waste too, because man, that seemed like such a cool duo when it started.
Yeah. It had. Yeah. I
Like
agree. That seemed like
you got the
such a
two
cool
foreigners, and they're just like both way ahead of where they should be.
Right. Yeah, it could have been fun.
I mean, it still
Wasn't
could
this
be.
year.
Porzingis could stay healthy, and Luca could stop being a crybaby. You see the technical he got last night?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was bad. That's a pretty bad call. I mean, why are you being a baby and like trying to punch a dude in the nuts, anyways? But
I'll be. I like Luca. I don't hate
so do I.
Luca, but I am sure glad that we're not in the Luca love age of last year. Like,
Oh, where everyone just thought he was a hero.
it was like, he really has potential to actually be the greatest NBA player of all time. When you look at his efficiency, when you look at like, okay,
Okay, relax, relax,
okay,
relax. He's very good. He's a very good basketball
he's a
player.
very good player. Yeah, that's
I do think he's a little emotional, and I think it's coming out now. I think you're
yeah,
starting to see it more and more. Now that he's like now that he knows he has respect and deserves respect. I feel like now when he doesn't get it, he like freaks out
yeah.
because he's done some questionable things this season where it's like I'm glad you're competitive, but at the same time you're kind of being a bitch.
Agreed. He's a little, yeah, yeah. It comes out a lot in other NBA players as well. I don't know what it is, but man, they sure love complaining.
They love to complain. That is the freaking soap opera of sports is the NBA. NBA offseason could be like keeping up with the Kardashians itself, honestly.
Yeah,
It's actually incredible.
it's
It's the
reality
most
TV of
dramatic, yeah, it's the
sports.
most dramatic, like incredible thing. That's why like big NBA fans, whenever I talk to them, they just have like the most diluted, like weird, I don't know. They're like big NBA fans just think they know everything about NBA because they know how the players think. I'm like, you guys realize that has nothing to do with anything, right? I have so many people that I talk to on Twitter like, that's a dumb pick. And I'm like, why? Oh, because this player is actually from this town and he's gonna drop at least 25 tonight. It's like you realize it doesn't like that's not how sports work.
Yeah, I think it's
These are all professional athletes here. They all have a chip on their shoulder for some reason. It's not how that works.
I feel like
Unless it's like a cat where the only time he tries is when he faces Embiid kind of thing. Like
yeah,
other than like a rare instance of that, like there is no. I just don't, people think that like attitudes have something to do with the NBA. I'm like, yeah, they all have attitudes, but they're all still professional athletes who dribble a ball for 23 hours a day because they're that damn good.
yeah, and the other guy still wants to win. He's like, "Oh, I'm not from this town. I don't know if I want to play any D today."
Yeah. I don't know if I feel like it today.
Yeah, I think it's a bit goofy. All right, I say let's send it to a quick break, and
Agreed.
then we'll get back with Forbes' newest list for 2021 of the most valuable teams in the world.
Ooh, I'm excited.
As am I.
I can't.
back, fellas.
Fellas. All right. I am ready for the top. What is it? Top 20?
It is the
Top
top
50?
50. It is the top
Top
50 we have
50.
information on. I don't think we'll go over all 50 on
No,
this
no,
list.
no. I
They're
want
very
I want to go
interesting.
through a top 10.
And yeah, and plus some fun ones towards the
Some
end.
fun ones. All right. So top 10 most of. All right. Let me get the information correct. Most valuable.
Most valuable. Value of the franchise itself.
Value of the franchise itself. All sports across the world.
All sports, 50. Now, I will say that it is completely dominated. Not completely dominated, but a majority of the teams in the list are from the same sport, which I found interesting. Now, and also, let's make it clear, you have not seen the list.
I have not seen the list. I have not looked at the Forbes article. I have no idea any of the teams that should be on there.
And I've been looking all over it. So, who do you have number one?
Number one. And okay, so if sport is mostly dominated by it, I would expect that to be soccer because that just seems like the most reasonable thing. And if we're going soccer, the number one, Real Madrid or Paris Saint Germain.
No.
Or Bayern. Oh, could be Bayern too. Fuck, that's a tough one. And if it's any other sports, Dallas Cowboys.
No, I'm gonna say right here, Bayern is number 10.
Okay, all right. That's a good. Wow, they're number 10. Holy shit.
Madrid is number 5.
Oh, they're that far down.
Yep. Manchester's down in 11.
Manchester United.
Yep.
Okay, so number one. Holy shit. Number one. Okay. I'm just gonna go. It's Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Or it's Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I can't believe they still have the number one out of all those sports.
$5.7 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Jerry Jones bought this team in '89 for the small sum of $150 million. Now worth $5.7 billion. So
that's so absurd. I mean, he can't win championships, but damn, he can grow the value for sure.
Yeah. Thanks for a mediocre team these days. Wow.
That's so absurd that they're worth that much. Okay. Dallas Cowboys number one, which I think they've had for so long.
Yeah, that's always been there.
Number two. Who has the most? The Yankees?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that was pretty good.
$5.2 billion, and you think Jerry Jones getting the Cowboys for $150 million? The Steinbrenners paid $8.8 million for the Yankees.
What?
In 1973, and that is worth $5.25 billion.
Oh my god!
So it starts off NFL and MLB.
So Dallas Yankees, Lakers or Manchester City?
Nope.
Damn. Number 3 most valuable team in the world.
Top 10. Neither.
If you're in the chat, guess what 3 in the world is going to be? Because man, I cannot. 3. Lakers, Man City, Chelsea. Football teams. Second most valuable football team. I don't know. Who is it?
It is the New York Knicks.
No way.
Yeah, $5 billion. And it's got to be. I mean, the rights to Madison Square. I think that's got to be. And I guess they just sell out every game regardless of how good they are. And
is that just Spike Lee's season ticket membership?
That's just
for the past 30 years, basically.
They've just been doing that up.
And the lawsuit they're gonna have for the next time that they don't let them in the building. Is that also combined with that? God. Which, by the way, off topic, but how does that happen? Like
even
Spike
watch
Lee
the Knicks.
is this state like literally like the main point of the Knicks. Like I feel like everyone in that building who works for the Knicks has to know who that guy is.
There are a lot of things that happen in Madison Square Garden that I don't understand. But they're doing really well, and they're probably going to be even more valuable next year because they can actually play basketball again.
Crazy.
Five in the
It's
last
got
5 years, increased by 67%. That's crazy. When I was
and next year is going to skyrocket too after this year,
yeah,
especially if they win the first round of the playoffs.
I was looking at these. They have the 5 year changes in value on the list as well, and I didn't even see it was 5 year before. When I first read it, I thought that was just since being purchased.
Yeah.
The value increased by 67%. That's 5 years. These are just money machines. They're just money printers.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4.
So we've got. You said Real Madrid was 5, right?
Let me make sure. Yeah.
Okay. I still want to say Lakers. The Lakers really not even. The Lakers got to be in the top 10 somewhere because that franchise is worth a shitload of
Yeah, they're in the top 10.
money. 4. I don't think there's a more valuable team than Real Madrid. I think they are the number 1, unless it's Barcelona, but I don't think it is. Can I have the sport?
It is soccer. Which I think is fun because it goes NFL, MLB, NBA, soccer. The top 4 are all 4 different sports. It's fun little. Oh.
No way, man. It's Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, or Manchester City.
You were right before.
Man City.
Barcelona.
Barcelona is more valuable than Real Madrid.
It's
I suppose they don't have
really
Ronaldo
close.
anymore. Yeah, I'm sure if they don't have Ronaldo anymore, it probably is.
Barcelona is 4.76 billion, and then Madrid right behind at 4.75.
Oh my god, that's great. That actually is Ronaldo because if Ronaldo was there, their value would be like 5 points something. Yep. That's crazy. Okay, so 4 or 5 Barcelona. Oh, 6 through 10 is gonna be a rough one.
6 through 10 are interesting.
It said 10 was Bayern.
Yeah.
So there's Paris Saint-Germain is worth more than Bayern, so they've got to be in there somewhere. You know what's crazy is Paris Saint-Germain is actually not worth more, but because of their merchandise and because like their jerseys are like a hipster brand where people like wear it even though they really don't know what the team is. Because of their like merchandise alone, they're worth so much money, even if they're not in the top 10.
They're not in the top 10.
Interesting.
And they're I won't tell you at what number, but they are in a 3-way tie.
Interesting.
They are in a 3-way tie.
Wait, with who? With who?
I'm not telling you.
Ah, damn it. Okay, 6. It's got to be baseball.
All right, let me give you. I'll give you some context for it because
this
might make it easier to. They were purchased in 2010, and in the last 5 years, their value has increased by 147%.
The Chiefs?
No, but it's like that's the right idea.
Yeah. Okay. Who am I missing here? It's got to be someone like that.
Just yeah. No
Seattle.
value, no value, no value. Bang, super valuable.
Seattle?
Not NFL.
Not NFL. Houston Astros?
No, sir.
Damn.
We're looking at Golden State. Yeah.
Valuable team in the world is Golden State Warriors?
4.7 billion, which is really it's crazy when you look at number 7.
Because numbers. Fuck.
The fact that so
7's got to be. like Lakers, Boston. Yeah.
It's LA.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's close. It's 4.7
The
billion to
Warriors
4.6
are worth
billion.
more than the
The
Lakers.
Warriors are worth more than the Lakers.
Literally just because of the last 5 years.
And the Lakers have LeBron. and,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and they're the Lakers. But yeah, but on the last, just with that run, because 100. Let me put it. Looking down on the list, you know, even in thinking about inflation and all that, without that 147 change in value, they're at like 45. They are not even in, but they're at 6, and it's crazy.
So 7.
Seven's the Lakers now.
And then 8, 9. 10 is Bayern, so 8 and 9.
8 and 9 are the
there's
same sport.
Okay. There's no soccer team that's worth more than Bayern and isn't worth as much as, unless Man City somehow. But you said Manchester United's at 11?
Yep.
Is Man City really not worth more than Manchester? Okay. Same sport. What teams have we missed? I've missed all Boston teams. There hasn't been a Boston in there yet. It's not the Patriots, because the Patriots aren't worth that much. I didn't think. It's not. 8 and 9. Damn it. I'm gonna go. Maybe it is the Patriots.
Their change in value is relatively low. Same sport. Wow. And one of them was, wow, year purchase 1925.
I'm gonna go Patriots and the Giants.
Woo! Yes, sir.
Wait, really?
Yeah, 8 is the New England Patriots, and number 9 is the New York Giants.
That was impressive.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
They're $4.4 and $4.3 billion respectively. They're just, one's in New York, the other is the greatest NFL franchise.
I was just thinking. I was like, I haven't said a Boston, and I figured another New York team's got to be somewhere in there. I was gonna, and if not the Jets, and if you would have given me the Rangers, I might have guessed the Rangers. Who's the most NHL team?
There is not an NHL team on the list.
In the top 50?
Nope.
Not one.
Nope.
That's crazy.
And there are 26 teams from another sport, and there is not one NHL team.
Wow. I suppose they're just franchises that are just not worth it.
It also gets really tight towards the bottom. I'm sure they're all pretty close from like 35 on. But yeah, there's no NHL teams, which I thought was pretty surprised by.
I wonder who would be the most valuable NHL team. It's got to be like the Rangers, right? Just because of MSG. See the Rangers. Yeah. Oh no, it's got to be. It could be a Canadian team
too. Rangers are one.
Yeah.
Then Maple Leafs, then the Canadians.
I was gonna say all the Canadian teams are gonna follow up on the list.
And then the Blackhawks and the Bruins. Those are the top 5.
Okay.
And they actually account for a quarter of the NHL's revenue.
Jesus. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
But yeah, even the Rangers are the highest at 1.65 billion. That was last year.
And that's because of Madison Square Garden.
Yep. And
interesting. The Maple Leafs have number 2. That's pretty crazy, actually.
But the 50th team on this list is almost 2.5 billion, and they're not even half of that.
Damn.
Or they're about half of that.
I like that list. That's a very interesting list.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me that the New York Giants are the 9th most valuable team in the world.
Yeah.
And that soccer doesn't even break the top 3.
It's crazy. We do go on a little soccer run here. And got Bayern. And then after that, 11 and 12. Also sport.
Man U, Man City, Man U, Liverpool.
That's
Yeah,
There
Liverpool.
it is, Man U, Liverpool.
And then Man City's not too far behind.
It's 4.2 bill to 4.1 bill.
Well, the same people own Man City, Real Madrid, um, PSG. It's all Emirates. Oh no, Arsenal. Arsenal. So it's the same people who own all those teams. So like, if we want to talk about most valuable franchises, like, if you combine all those, it's actually the same franchise because it's the same
Right.
people.
If you put them all
Like
together.
Fly Emirates has the most money I've ever seen out of it, and like they sponsor so much shit,
The
and now they have MLS teams, and like, oh my god.
the way I think that it's being done is because Barcelona is owned by club members. Madrid is
Ah,
owned by club members.
yeah, club members.
Man U is owned by the Glazer family. Shout out the Glazers.
Ah,
Uh,
shout out the Glazers. Well, you know what's really interesting? A lot of teams, well, not a lot of teams, but like, do you know how the whole David Beckham contract worked when he came here?
enlighten me.
So the LA Galaxy was said, "Hey, David, we'll pay you X amount of dollars if you come play for us." And he's like, "No, that's not worth it because once my career's over, I could have made myself a better brand over here." And like, fine, we'll give you the contract and we'll give you a stake in the LA Galaxy when you're done playing. So David Beckham got paid more than anyone in the MLS, more than anyone in soccer really for a while. And then his outgoing contract was like a 15% stake in the LA Galaxy,
Right.
which is back when he played was not worth that much money. But now that he's retired and LA Galaxy what it is now, and they got Ibra and all that shit, like dude, this man is cashing for life.
That's a
Like he just got
hey,
a fifth. I don't know 15%, but he got a much bigger stake than I thought that he should have gotten
that's
as a
that
player.
that money later mentality.
That's that money later mentality. That was a genius move on his part. I don't know how. I mean, I guess it's a genius move on the LA Galaxy because they literally built the MLS off David Beckham. Like he was the only reason to watch MLS for a while.
All
So
right.
it's kind of cool. But
Now
I
that
wonder if like other teams would do that. Like Ronaldo goes to some team and they're like, "Hey, after you're done retiring, we'll give you 15% of our team." Like, okay,
so
shit, you get offered a fraction of a franchise,
yeah
you take that
yeah
shit
you take that.
immediately.
I mean let's just look. If anyone ever asks me, would you like to invest in something? Everyone the lowest one of these in a 5 year return value is like 30 something percent.
Really,
Yeah. I
that's
mean
so absurd.
Liverpool's is 165 in the last 5 years increase in value.
Oh yeah, because they won a title a couple years ago.
That's big. So
That's what I do like about soccer too is the prestige actually increases value. Like the Yankees could win the World Series for the next 10 years and their value would be like up a little bit. If a soccer team wins a championship one time, that shit skyrockets.
yeah, I mean so now we're out of the top 10. It gets a little messy. So I think I'm just gonna pull through some of the highlights, some of the things I found interesting.
Some of the we just
So right after actually, I'll say right now at 13 it is a tie, which I thought was crazy between the Rams and Man City are both worth 4 billion. Yeah, yeah. It's in L.A. They built that big ass stadium. That in the last 5 years, yeah, they moved to L.A. and built a big stadium. The last 5 years, they've grown 176%, and they haven't done anything. Yeah. Um, what else is interesting? It's crazy.
world.
And then so you look at after that it's a lot of NFL. 49ers are 15, Jets are 17, which is
Whoa.
crazy. The Jets are
New
the
York,
17th
just yeah,
most.
it's just New
Yeah.
York.
And then the Bears. It's a little NFL round, except for we
Chicago.
finally get the second MLB team as well. The Dodgers are number 16.
Damn, they're all the way down there.
Yeah. They're
That's
down
pretty
there.
crazy.
Here's something pretty crazy that also. So then, and then the Red Sox are 20 right after. The Washington football team is 19, and the Eagles are 21, meaning that the NFC East, all four in the top 21. If the Eagles could just increase by .07 billion, they'd all be in the top 20.
Damn.
So the NFC East is probably the most valuable like, division in
Which is
anything.
absurd. The NFC least is the most valuable division. That's
Yeah,
absurd.
say on.
You guys have been around the longest of any division, though, right?
Yeah,
Like all four of those teams have been
they're
around
all
forever.
old. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
around the Giants and the Eagles go way, way back, and then
The football team is
they're all pretty major cities too. I mean, well, Dallas is its own breed. Like who even
yeah,
knows?
Dallas is crazy.
And then it's Philadelphia, Washington, and
New
New York.
York. Yeah. Interesting. I do
Um,
like that list.
since you're talking about Paris, they are at 43,
Wow.
tied with the Houston Rockets and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I really thought they'd be worth more than that.
You would not. They also were only purchased in 2011 for $100 million.
I was gonna say their value has to be absurd the past decade.
Because now they're 2.5 billion. They've grown. They've
Two
grown
2,000%.
207% in the last 5 years.
Wait, 100 million to what? 2.7 billion?
Yeah, in the last 9 years,
They've
it's
grown
been,
like two.
It's
Yeah,
been
it's
crazy.
just.
In the last five,
Yeah.
it's another double.
I mean, that's like Neymar, but that's crazy because before 2011, they still had Ibrahimovic, which is like a big deal.
It's 40.
No, maybe they didn't. Oh god, that's got to be around the exact. It's got to be like right when all those players came that they just skyrocketed. Because I was gonna say that 100 million 10 years ago. That's so nuts.
So it's also interesting. 26 of the teams on this list are NFL teams. So 26 out of 32 teams.
Yeah. Damn.
Crazy.
Who's the six who don't get it? Minnesota.
Are you guys on it?
No, hell no.
You're number 34, guys.
What? Oh, that's just because of U.S. Bank.
2.9.
That put us on the list itself.
Billion. That is right behind the Baltimore Ravens and right ahead of the Miami Dolphins. Now, are any of these... Stop moving, you little camera. You're making.
Yeah, your camera's really, really going all over the place over
He's
there.
excited. I think it's interesting that the Chargers are also 41, which is right behind the Nets. The Nets and the Chargers are very comparable. Well, that's just that's the NFL, man. The Chargers who don't make the playoffs. They're not even.
I hate that family.
They don't even.
You hear they own the whole thing now?
Yeah.
They bought out the other minority owner, and now they own all of it, so they can just literally just put that franchise in the trash and pretty much call it a day.
They're like the third best team in California.
They're not even the third best team in California.
Well, until the Raiders.
Like the fifth.
Until the Raiders moved to Nevada, they were the fourth. Anything else? It's the Jags are in here, which is I thought was insane because then I was trying to think who would the 6 teams that aren't in here be, and I figured Jacksonville immediately, but nope. Jacksonville's 47, tied with the New York Mets and the Dallas Mavericks.
Wait, so who are the 6 teams in the NFL that are not on that list?
That's what I'm trying to figure
Detroit.
Oh, come back here.
Detroit. I would say Detroit and Green Bay because I don't think Green Bay is worth that much money.
Yeah, Detroit. So it looks like the Texans.
Your camera is doing all types of shit.
It looks like the Texans. The Packers are 31. The Lions are one of the teams that are not on there. It's Lions, the Texans, the Titans. The Colts are 37.
Titans
Titans are not on it.
God, who else is on there?
Carolina's on there.
Go through Miami? No, Miami's got to be on there.
Miami's on there. Oh, the Buccaneers are not.
Interesting. They will be
They
soon.
will be. They will be.
They will be
next year.
soon.
But the Buccaneers are not. So let's see: Houston,
That's
Tennessee,
4.
Tampa Bay, and Detroit.
Bills? No, they got to be on there.
They are not. The Buffalo Bills are
Whoa.
another one. What? So these are like, wow. Nothing to do with performance.
One more. Nothing to do with anything. Like literally.
Oh, man. And
one more.
Maybe the Raiders.
Yeah, gotta be. Not for long. Not when you're one of the only teams in Vegas.
However, the Raiders are one of 6 teams that have doubled in value in the past year. You want to hear? This is a good.
Yeah. I want to hear the doubled.
So Paris Saint-Germain was 207. That's the biggest in the last 5 years. Liverpool was 165.
Yep.
Manchester City was 108. The Rams are 176. Warriors are 147, and the Raiders were 117. But they're still not even on the list. And that was all. The 3 of them all had stadium moving, which is interesting.
That's literally what it is. It's all relocations.
Which is great, but then the three. That is what's cool about soccer, because the 3 soccer clubs, just purely just becoming more and more popular and bigger names, nothing to do with some kind of like big corporate move. But I forgot the Warriors even move stadiums. That helps a lot.
It does help a lot.
It is crazy that the Raiders moved to Vegas. I guess it's just more recent than the other 2, but still, to not even be worth more than like Jacksonville. Who's 50? Who was the last?
Who was the last one to make the cut?
The Browns.
The Browns, they made it. Good for them. Probably just because of the past 2 years too.
Yeah. Decent change in value over the last 3 years, 57%.
Yeah.
They're only purchased in 2012.
212.
Yeah, it was way back. It was 987 million, so they about doubled since buying.
That's pretty good.
Doubled and a half.
All right. I'm ready for another break, and then I'm coming back with the picks.
Yep. It is 11:01, May 10th, 2021, and we're gonna get into some sports betting in just a minute. Bye.
See you soon, fellas.
Got all these words in my head, paint portraits with lead, paint swords and shit. Think before you make a mistake, make it now, sleep me all night with my new thing. Those type of little toes on the bed frame. Listen to the rain in the morning, feeling amazing. All this pain goes away with the right lady. I'll fuck you with my giant, but I'm not James Dean. Star sensual, but I know you want it dirty. You driving home, fat Joe between the teddy bear's legs, and they hit it on the reg. Said it really is a shame. About to celebrate, it's my homie's birthday. Taking shots all day and night. About to get into a bar fight. Kanye West, not afraid to lose a fist fight. Hold my watch, making sure my wrist's right. Hit him like a baseball, knock it out the park. When I finish it's looking like a 6-sight. Even if I lose, know my homies got my back. They attack like a duo on the track. Running laps, running miles, coming back just to see you smile. Been a while, how you been? When are we gonna get this party going? Heartbeat speeds up when the kisses start slowing. And she's glowing like she always is. Girl, I'm in the mood now.
ready to talk about a little sports betting for the day. What do you got for us? What are we looking at? What's
Well,
big?
First, I'd like to go through our beautiful night last night because the night before was not as beautiful. So just sum this up. On Saturday, we went 1-6 for minus 3.6 units. And then yesterday, we went 6-2 for positive 3.68 units.
Hey,
So we cleared that 0.08. We had our worst day of the year and then just came right back.
Let's go.
I would like to be known that I bet on the Pittsburgh Pirates to win yesterday, one of the worst teams in baseball, and they won.
Wow.
Yep, that's the Tampa Bay Rays came back from 3-0 down to win 4-3. That was gorgeous. Kansas City Royals was our only loss of the baseball yesterday. They just sucked. It was bad. I think Chicago was up like 5-0 in the first inning or two, so that was fun. And the LA Angels upset the Dodgers yesterday, which your boy bet on. And not only did they upset them, they came from behind and beat them by 1.
Big day for the fellas. If
Big.
you're not getting these picks, go to heyfellas.co. Sign up for one of our premium pick packages. Take a week if you want to try it out.
Or just follow Twitter. Play.
April was hot. May is going to be hotter. It's the summertime, baby.
It's hot. We're heating up.
If you want to make some money, heyfellas.co.
Or, just follow Twitter play of the day. We're 16-8-1, hitting at a 66%. Not a big deal. Most of them are plus money plays too, so it's whatever. No juice here. We're just doing things that other people don't. It's fine. All right. Another one we hit yesterday. New York Knicks plus 7.5. Easiest bet of the day. Only 2-unit bet of the day. They are, what is that, like 14 of the past 16 they've covered the spread? Actually, insane. I'd like to look at that because this run that they've been on is actually absurd.
What a fun team. What a cool push for the end of the year to get the
team. Julius Randle should be the MVP. Like, I don't care what you say.
I will say that I have money on Jokic, and if Randle gets it, that's fun. But man.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they covered 12 in a row. No, 13 in a row. Then they lost one, covered the next 3, lost 2, and then beat the Clippers and covered last night. That's absurd. That team is, so what is that? 16 of the past 19, they've covered the spread. And I think we've been on about 14 of them. Yeah, beautiful. Any 2-unit play of the day, easy hit. Bulls -9 should have also been 2 units, but I only made it 1 because I'm dumb. But they easily covered. Actually, they didn't easily cover it. Almost came back. And then the Bulls Pistons under 220 for half a unit last night. And then I took a chance on the Ottawa Senators at plus 175, and they got blown the fuck out. I should have put the Stars over like I did in our parlays, but I didn't. So yesterday, 1.5 units in MLB. We lost a unit in NHL, and we're up 3.2 in the NBA. Beautiful 3.68 units up. And we move on to today, where? Sean, who are we picking today?
Now, that's a good question.
I'll tell you who we're not picking today.
Who's that?
We're not picking the Pacers. Because the Pacers are getting 90% of the bets and 96% of the money.
What's the spread against the Sixers right now?
Sixers don't play today. Silly goose.
Oh, I thought they're playing the Cavs. What's the spread against the Cavs?
That's the Pacers. Yeah, Pacers are playing the Cavs today.
They're playing the Sixers tomorrow.
Yeah.
I see. What's the spread against the Cavs right now?
Cavs are getting 8.5 against a banged up Pacers team.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. But because the Cavs do suck, like really, really bad, and they'll probably lose this game by 30. But the Pacers are very banged up right now. So we're just gonna fade that game. Nobody bet on that game. That's not worth it.
Not worth.
We're not doing that. Pelicans and Grizzlies I'm looking at right now. I'm leaning Grizzlies. Pelicans are pretty hurt, and they're on the back-to-back. They came back last night and won. Let's keep an eye on that one. There's a couple injuries that I want to look at. Right. Bucks are getting. Oh, by the way, the Grizzlies are getting 8.5 on the Pelicans. But the Pelicans have Hart gone, Zion gone, and Ingram out.
Right? Yeah.
And Ingram, all 3 of them. So that's 3 starters. Um, so I'm thinking about, but dude, Pelicans losing by not 8.5. Yikes! I don't know. That's a tough one too. These lines are not fun today for the NBA. Spurs plus 6.5. The Bucks are getting 80% of the money across the board at 7, and I think Giannis is healthy. I'm almost positive Giannis is healthy, unless they're sitting him for. Yeah, no, he's healthy. Man, the NBA is ugly tonight. Ugly.
So no locks in the NBA. Perhaps
I don't think
some
so.
closer to game time decisions based on injury, but we don't have a lock for them.
I think there is no lock. I think Grizzlies is a good play on the spread. For now, we'll see how that goes. The Warriors only getting +3 against the Jazz is weird, but again, more injuries and shit. I just don't. And then you have the Trailblazers getting 15 on the Rockets, which makes no sense, and we should not be betting on that.
Well, all right.
Later on in the day, it's there is no. If anyone tells you there's a lock in the NBA today, they're wrong because there's not.
Well, let's try. What about MLB? We got Reds Pirates, we got Red Sox Orioles, we got Angels Astros, we got Padres Rockies. Any of those? You are.
Like 6-1 yesterday, and then the Reds almost came back and beat them, but they didn't. I think I like the Pirates today. Also, the Reds are getting all the money, all that shit. Other than that, man, I kind of want to take a stab at the Texas Rangers. They've been looking good lately, but I feel like every single time we bet against the San Francisco Giants, we lose. Plus, the pitching matchup isn't great today. Kyle Gibson against Alex Wood. He's a lefty. No, I think the Pirates is one of the only plays in the MLB. God, the board sucks today. First day of YouTube Live, and they just give us all these shitty freaking games, huh?
Thanks, Vegas.
That's really what they're doing? That's really what they're doing.
More of their money.
Yeah, I'm ready to take their damn money.
All right, and
NHL. We've got things to talk about in NHL.
Games. Devils, Flyers, Islanders, Bruiners, Lightning, Panthers,
Bruiners.
Oilers, Canadians.
So the first one I want to visit
7
is Islanders Bruins, because this is a very interesting game. The Islanders are an insanely good team at home. Very, 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 very good. Have been all season. Hang on, let me move this over here. I'm tired of this. Okay. Islanders have been incredible at home all season. They're like 21-7 at home, but they're like 11-16 on the road. They're not good. Boston is like splits half and half. Now, I would normally go Boston here because they're at home. Islanders are on the road. But the one problem is the Bruins are getting all of the money against a New York Islanders team that is literally one of the top teams in the NHL. Have not been playing like it recently, but they only have 2 injuries, which have been there for a while now. They're completely healthy. The Bruins are getting healthier. I just think that Islanders are getting +140 against the Bruins, which doesn't quite make any sense to me.
And that's
like pure, just regular money line. They're getting plus like 130, 140, which just doesn't make sense to me because like it does, but also you can't have the Islanders at that good of odds. Like they're too good of a team to have that kind of odds. So I don't know if like, this is one of those things where I don't know if it's worth putting a bet on them, but like the value's there where if you want to put a little bit of money, it's probably very much worth it, especially with the Bruins getting all the money today. That's something you should be looking out for.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if I'll put a unit on it. The other one I like today is the Hurricanes at the Predators.
Okay.
Because
going off at 8 p.m.
Going off at 8 p.m. So the Hurricanes are getting a little bit of money, but that's fine because they're favorites. They should be. Carolina ranks offensively, so defensively, they're top 3. They're the 3rd ranked defense in the whole NHL. Nashville's offense is ranked 22nd. Now, we are in Nashville tonight where they do play better than they do on the road. They're 17-10 at home and 13-15 on the road. And the Hurricanes definitely play worse on the road. But So this is how it's gone this year. Playing, they've played each other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. How many times do you think Carolina has beaten them?
I'm gonna say two.
They've beaten them 6 out of 7 times. Carolina has.
Really?
The only time they lost was 2 days ago in Nashville. That was the first time Nashville's beaten them all season. It was 2 days ago in Nashville. We're in Nashville again tonight. But man, I don't see Nashville being able to beat them twice in a row, especially not 2 days apart when Carolina has literally beaten them. So Nashville beat them on Saturday 3-1. Before that, Carolina had beaten them 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 3-2 in OT, 4-2 on the road, and 4-2 on the road.
Yeah, I'm just looking here at the there's their goals per game and goals against. It seems like should be Kane's season.
I think this might be the free play of the day. Now I have to check. I have not looked. Let me do a little research real quick on Fox Bet. By the way, I love Fox Bet.
Shout out Fox Bet.
Mostly because DraftKings and Barstool won't verify me.
Verify my guy.
Verify my guy. Can we get an official? Maybe someone's watching from them. Can you fix my problem, please? Would love to advertise for you guys.
Yo, Portnoy.
Yo, Portnoy. Need some help. Okay. Carolina in regulation is plus 115. So you can either take them money line, which is minus 140, which isn't too bad at juice. I normally like a little bit less than that, but minus 140 isn't too bad. Or if you're feeling like badass with little testicles, you can go money line in regulation for plus 115. I don't know which one to do. They've only gone to OT once, so I think regulation might be a good call.
Take both.
That might be the play of the day. Carolina's got
the 60-minute.
Hang on, let me check starting goalies. That's a big deal. Goalies, NHL. Also, anyone watching out there, if you ever need to know where or who's starting for goalies, dailyfaceoff.com is a great website. They have up to the second updates on who should be starting in net, if they're confirmed or unconfirmed. Very reliable website. Also a really good forum too that people like to talk on. Laurent, nope, no. Okay, so it should be Pekka Rinne versus Razak, which ends in our favor.
Sounds like a lock.
And I did kind of want to put some money on Vegas tonight, the Golden Knights against Colorado, because they're at home. Colorado is just a very good. Okay. Also, ESPN came out with the other day with their top 32 power rankings for NHL, like they do. It was so bad. It was one of the worst power ranking things I've ever seen. They put like Colorado number 1. They didn't have Tampa Bay until like number 6. They had the Minnesota Wild at 7 somehow. Like the Maple Leafs, who plays in the worst division, at like 3. It was so bad. One of the worst power rankings I've seen. I was about to write a letter. I was so upset. The ESPN needs to hire the fellas to do their work, because man, they are not good at it. Anyways, I think Vegas Golden Knights is worth a look at tonight. Against the Avalanche, they're at home. The only problem is they're getting a lot of money, but the public is betting on the Avalanche. It's pretty basic odds. It's basically a pick 'em at this point. I just think with the Golden Knights being at home, Avalanche might struggle a little bit. They might. Both probably starting goalies in net tonight. The big thing is the Avalanche are hurt. They've got like Brandon Saad that's out, a couple goalies that are hurt, so their rotation's a little fucked up. The big thing is though, Nathan MacKinnon is questionable right now for tonight. Nathan MacKinnon's easily their best player, probably the best player, like top 10 player in the NHL, top 5 player in the NHL maybe. He is questionable tonight. So as soon as that an injury gets announced, that line is going to jump a lot. So if you want to get on early on the nights and McKinnon doesn't play, you can get him at really good odds right now, which might be something worth doing. But then if McKinnon plays, it's kind of worthless. Other than that, that's NHL. Damn. I'm kind of upset because I really am good at NBA, but I hate when the lines start like this. Because the NBA is one of those sports where like you can only study the lines like an hour before game time.
Right.
Because
You never know. Who's
honestly, I think they need to change that for next year. I really do. If they like with the way that sports betting is going in the industry, they're gonna have to start changing some things to like appease sports bettors. And this NBA injury thing is one of the worst things I've seen ever. Like, dude, if you go to ESPN.com and you look at like injuries, it is literally just yellow all the way down with every single player on every team with day-to-day or questionable. And they don't update it until 20 minutes before the game when they're all shooting around. Yeah. And then you have one guy like, yeah, I don't think I could do it today. Who are we playing? Cleveland. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I definitely can't do it today. Yeah, no. Who are we playing today? The Bucks. Oh yeah, I'm good. Yep, I'm good. Yep, I'm good. Like it's so. That's been the biggest thing too. Is like if you're playing not a very good team, you have to wait until the very last second to bet on that game because you don't know who's gonna play and who's not. That shit pisses me. That shit pisses me off. It's so frustrating.
It's annoying.
And because also you could get a line at like -7, and then all of a sudden like a player gets announced and it goes to -2, but you bet it on -7. You're like, well, that one's shot. That bet's gone.
Bye.
Yeah. So because I still had the stats up from Colorado and Vegas, listen to these stats. This is pretty impressive. Colorado offense ranks #1. Vegas defense ranks #2. Colorado defense ranks #5. Vegas offense ranks #3.
Wow. Shots
per game, Colorado 2, defensively 1. Shots per game, Vegas 4, defensively 4. Oh my God. These teams are ridiculous.
That's a matchup.
And then like even if you go into their power plays, like Colorado offense, power play 7. Vegas penalty kill #1. Vegas power play isn't that good, but like Colorado penalty kill 8. Like these guys rank in the top like 5 for basically everything.
It's insane.
It's gonna be a good matchup tonight. It's gonna be a good game to watch. That's going to be an interesting one. What else do we have to discuss today? What else did we have?
There's a certain certain set of brothers from Ohio making some waves. I think I'd like to discuss that.
We probably should talk about this because this
is outrageous, and anyone that thinks it is real I mean, look.
It's very entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
It's so entertaining, right?
If you think for 1 second that nobody would knock out Jake Paul for stealing Floyd's hat and it wasn't set up, and then also here's some merch and come on.
No.
He got smacked around.
He got smacked around pretty good. That security guard. Did you see the videos of Jake Paul, the security guards before that happened?
No.
Oh, Jake. So during like Floyd's press conference, not Floyd's press conference, he was saying something. Jake Paul was like antagonizing his security guards the whole fucking time. He was sitting there next to him and he was just like, he'd come up to one of the security guards. He's like, hey bro, you lift? Like he kept doing it. So then when he took that hat, those security guards fucking lit him up.
Yeah.
Like they were pissed at him. And like, I get it. Part of it's a show, part of it's not. But like, dude, you got a dude that's like calling out the guy who's probably paying you millions of dollars to protect him. Yeah. And this dude's just sitting there the whole time and basically pinching your ass and like being like, hey, you lift, bro? Like, hey, yo. Like you get one, he steals the guy that you're protecting's hat. Oh my God, immediately I would smash him across the face.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like he would have been pile dropped into the ground. if they had not had some idea that something would happen, especially because he's not even the one fighting. like, like what? First of all, what even was this?
I don't know. It was something. I
Why
think it was.
why are they facing off?
I think it was some kind of press conference or like something, and then Jake Paul has just gotten himself in the middle of everything. Which honestly, like, as much as it might be fake, or as much as he's just trying to be entertaining, like, hats off to the guy. No pun intended. Hey, hats off to the guy for like creating all this hype around this, because he's just making himself more and more money.
Yeah.
He knows that everyone hates him. He doesn't care at this point. He's like, I'm just trying to secure a bag. I mean, he got himself kicked out of the Floyd fight, so
Yeah.
he can't show up to that building anymore.
He's in a I don't know. I just hope that the fight itself is all real.
I hope it is with Logan. I don't think you can get a real fight with Jake Paul. I think
I
I think there's too much money in everything right now. We're not, but I hope the Logan and the Floyd fight is real. And also, like, not a good human being, but I have a lot more respect for Logan, seeing what Jake's done lately. Because like,
I agree. I mean Logan's an older.
he's been taking it a little more serious, and like he hasn't mouthed off to Floyd. He's not sitting there being like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. He's like, no, I'm going against like the greatest boxer ever. Like, I know how this is gonna end, but who's gonna say no to this?
Yeah, man, I
Really
just
hope he
for
doesn't
this-
win.
for
I
this-
just don't want him to win.
For the sake of just sports,
Boxing,
period,
yeah, just sports, period.
I hope Floyd knocks him out.
So that we don't have a bunch of freaking 18-year-olds thinking they can be celebrities by going into boxing and shit, because they're gonna find out real quick that that is not how you make money.
I'm so like torn over what I think is like happening here.
It's
Half of me is like, there's no way that Floyd Mayweather would get in a boxing match right now if he didn't think he could win it. Why? Like, what? He's 50 and 1, right? Professional.
no, he's never. I don't think that he's never lost.
No, 50 and 0.
50
He's
no.
not. The one's not gonna be Logan Paul. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, no.
There's no way he's letting that happen. And just Floyd Mayweather is a dude, just like uber competitor. I can't imagine that you put a.
That's why I think this fight's gonna be like more real. Like, this is actually gonna be like, just like the McGregor and Floyd one. We're all like, okay, we know who's gonna win here, but like it was entertaining to a degree. Like, we clearly saw that he was outmatched, and Floyd kind of toyed with him, and then when he was done toying with him, like, he beat him.
And if Floyd wasn't going in trying to win a match, he could take on any of the actual top boxers and make 5 times as much.
Yeah, I don't know what this pay-per-view is gonna look like. I would assume that the Jake Paul pay-per-view probably gets more action just because he mouths off more. Logan really hasn't put himself out there, and like,
the Jake Paul one does for sure. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's gonna. This isn't as much about the money as the Jake Paul fight before.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it's Jake Paul and a retired wrestler such UFC guy boxing, and yet it draws in so much money.
Who does Jake Paul fight next though? Because he's called out Kamaru Usman, and Usman called out him, and then Jake Paul's like, yeah, I'll fight you, and then Usman's like, dude, you're not worth my time. Like, I'll literally kill you. Like, look what I just did to one of the greatest street fighters of all time. Like, I literally killed him.
That's the thing. I don't know. I think it's so hard to tell the difference. Find the line between Jake just saying things,
Yeah.
and actually, like, do you think he actually would have gotten in the ring? Like, had he been like, all right, bet, set the date, like,
I think in boxing, yes, but then he was going after Daniel Cormier, and if you don't know who Daniel Cormier is, he's like a legend in the heavyweight division,
Yeah.
and he retired not too long ago, and now he announces next to Joe Rogan and stuff. But like, he was mouthing off to him, like, dude, that is not the guy to be and Kamaru Usman is not the guy to be mouthing off to. Like, that is just, like, I get you're trying to hype yourself up and create money and stuff, but dude, like, you beat Ben Askren. You didn't beat you didn't beat Anderson Silva or like all these like the big UFC names. Like, Ben Askren was known in the UFC for being a great wrestler and a great competitor. Like, he was just tough, and he was a hard-nosed college wrestler. Like, and this was before the UFC got really huge. Like
Yeah.
all the UFC guys used to be like collegiate nationals, like wrestlers. That's what the UFC used to be.
Right.
It was either collegiate national wrestlers or guys who came over overseas from BJJ and jiu-jitsu and like all this shit. And now like everyone does everything. Like these guys are training since they're 8 years old, and every single fight, like they all know how to wrestle the best in the world. They all know how to like everything. Like I just think it's a different fight now. And like, dude, Kamaru Usman is not Ben Askren. Like
No, not at all.
you need to chill, dude.
Not at all.
You will get your face taken off. But I'm here for. I want to see it.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
want
the
to see
main
it.
thing.
Like just give me it. Like I think he's gonna have to build his way up. I don't think Kamaru Usman's not gonna give him the time. Like if I'm Kamaru Usman, I don't take that fight.
No.
Kamaru Usman's not here for them. Like, and Jake Paul's like, oh, what an idiot! Like you can tell he's just scared because he just turned down all this money. And I was like, dude, the UFC is really not about money. Like they have their own money issues where Dana doesn't pay him enough, whatever, blah, 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 even though Dana created like the entire sport and brought it up from literally scratch and like deserves his pay cut too. But like Kamaru Usman's not worried about money. Kamaru Usman is worried about his legacy and like his prestige. He's right now in the talks, and it's a big deal right now in the UFC talking about like who is the best fighter, like who is the best. Kamaru Usman's now made a name for himself. Like he's in that talks. It's like Khabib, Usman, George St. Pierre, which is probably the only still like person that's still in talk that came from fighting a decade ago. Like all the guys that were known back in the day, like the Forrest Griffins and the Chuck Liddells and the Brock Lesnar's and like all the guys that were really fun to watch back in the day, they're not even like no one even talks about them anymore because it's just like that's the fighting that it was, and now we're just at such a different level these days. Like, and George St. Pierre is the only one who's been able to like cross that. Anderson Silva still like some people will say, but like dude's lost like 10 times. Like you can't be the GOAT if you've been beaten 10 times. So it's like Kamaru Usman and a couple other guys, but like those guys really like Khabib might come back just because now he's hearing that like his name's in question.
Yeah.
Like he might come back after just being like, I'm never fighting again because my dad died and I won't fight again without him there. And now he's hearing the questions about his legacy, and like these guys care about that. They don't care about the paycheck. Conor McGregor cares about the paycheck. That's why he did the things that he did. He's like, he already had the legacy. He got both the belts. He's not worried about like the overall legacy. He's worried about like his paycheck. Kamaru Usman's not that guy. He's not going to take that fight because if he does take one on the chin randomly from Jake Paul and drop, like his legacy's over.
Right.
Like you have no more legacy. You just got beat by a YouTuber in boxing. So I just, man, I don't see him taking that, and I don't see a lot of guys taking it for that reason. I would love to watch McGregor though, because I think McGregor would put him on his ass. He's undersized, but that's also a previous Golden Glove winner.
What about? Is this all just a hype up for McGregor Mayweather 2?
Man, that's a long stretch. I don't know if the hype would even be there for McGregor Mayweather 2. I don't think anyone cares.
I'd watch it.
I mean, I'd watch it, but like, does anyone really care? Mayweather's not relevant anymore. McGregor's not relevant anymore. Ever since his fight with Dustin Poirier, no one really cares.
That's true.
Dude got his ass beat.
But at what time do you need to break out the sequel?
I know,
Not
right?
relevant.
Hey, that's literally what Floyd's doing. I'm telling you, like, he can flaunt around. Everyone's like, "Oh, he has so much money. He doesn't need to take this fight." Yes, he does. That money goes quick when you're not fighting anymore and you're spending it like he does. This man has like 100 cars. He has like 100 Lamborghinis. Like, dude, those all cost millions of dollars
Yeah.
times 100. Like, it's great when the money's coming in just as fast, but the money's not coming in like it was from Floyd anymore. He needs to take the fight. Like, he needs to fight. He needs to make money. He can flaunt around how much I'm sure he's going to put $80 million on his own name to win the fight, which is great, but that's probably your last 80 million. Like, he doesn't have that much money left. Like, I'm sure he's doing just fine, but with his purchases and shit, this man and his lifestyle, this man needs money now. And that's why he's taking it. Because I agree. I don't think there's any other reason that Floyd takes this fight.
I'm almost equally excited.
Besides just to beat a dumbass's face in.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like Floyd and maybe if it's Jake and Floyd, maybe. And maybe that's the sequel after this. Maybe it's Jake and Floyd after this. which I would love to see because Floyd would not be a calm man in that ring. He would try and do dirty things to him.
The dude's 50-0 and 27 wins by knockout. I think like if Logan Paul doesn't get absolutely sent
Besides that, he's
to the
bigger.
ether realm,
Besides that, he's bigger. He does have size.
punch up like.
Yeah, I know. I just mean like it's hard to get like it's not hard to get knocked out by a guy at 30, but a guy who's training for as long as he's probably has, like a guy who's hitting you 30 pounds less, like doesn't feel like a guy who's hitting you at your same weight.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't knock him out, but man, he's sure gonna fucking put him in a daze. I would think.
The problem is Floyd Mayweather hitting you from 30 pounds stuff.
Yeah, no.
I don't even know. Like it's I don't even know. It's super interesting.
It's a very interesting concept. Also, I really want to see one of these boxing guys get in a UFC ring. Like we've seen the UFC guys come over,
Yeah, it'll never.
and I'm like, it never will because it'll end so fast.
Yeah,
It would end so fast. It would be like literally a choke slam to the ground, and he just gets on top of you and beats your face in for 10 seconds, and the ref stops the fight.
It's like an F1 driver could probably go whip around in a NASCAR.
Yeah, but then you put a NASCAR driver in an F1 like real quick, and like, hey, go race a circuit real quick.
Exactly, and they're both super difficult, and they're both like super respect, but like.
And they both have their own skill club.
Carry into the other one.
Yeah.
They're just skills.
And like I'm not like as we saw, like Conor McGregor is not as good as Floyd Mayweather at boxing. Like it's obviously like he doesn't practice it all day.
He's not
like
a boxer.
Yeah, he's not a boxer, and I get it. Like you can say it was fake and whatever, and we will never know like the Ben Askren if it was fake or not. But that's like a real punch. That's a real overhand right in a boxing ring. That's not the same as a UFC punch when you're on the ground. Like that is an overhand right that caught him on the chin. Like that's droppable. Like, and you just don't have the same things in UFC. But man, I can't imagine a boxer trying to go over to UFC. You're gonna get your leg put behind your head in a chokehold so goddamn fast. It's not even gonna like imagine Khabib takes on like Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
This man would like pin him by like his toes or some shit. I don't know. Like it's just it's not. But I'm still ready for it, especially when like Jake Paul is mouthing off to Daniel Cormier like in his face at a UFC event. I'm like, dude, just go in the ring right now. Like Daniel, just beat the living shit out of him. Put him in a chokehold, and when he taps out, just keep choking. Like just keep going.
Other interesting. So Mr. 85 Chad Johnson is not fighting Pac-Man Jones.
Oh,
He will be fighting someone,
he will.
but not Pac-Man Jones. And you want to talk about Mr. Chad Johnson's also a big dude. And
How big is Chad Johnson?
He's not like huge, but he's like.
Did he officially go back? Did he
6'1",
officially
6'2"?
Did he officially go back to Johnson after the NFL?
Yeah. It was.
Did he?
It was like what
Ocho?
after.
Was it after the Bengals stint?
I think it was after the Bengals stint. It might have.
Didn't he try and play soccer?
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't he like really good at soccer?
Yeah, he was like. I remember he was on the Pat McAfee show. He was talking about it. He was always like, soccer was my first love. After I retired, and he played for where was it? Some MLS, I believe.
Yeah, he played for like some, or maybe even an NLS team. I think he played for like the semi-pro of MLS.
Yeah.
I think he played for like an NLS team that actually like signed him or something. I don't remember. Because I remember him being like, yeah. And then there was talks about him being a kicker too.
Oh, he was with Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. Oh, that's in like Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was here. I thought it was like Florida or something.
No.
He's
This man just went and secured a bag in Brazil after. Probably got paid a decent amount too. Oh God. I love
2019. Oh
Wait, that was like 2 years ago.
the dude
that was,
played,
like, not long ago.
Hey, he played professional soccer in 2019. Wow.
Chad Ocho Cinco.
That's
God, remember when he was relevant?
Yeah, I absolutely love him. I absolutely love him.
I remember like not liking him because I was like, oh, what a douche. This man just like made his name his number. But then after a while, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like, Like you
So
renamed yourself to your number to Ocho Cinco, and also what a cool last name, Ocho Cinco.
It sounds sick and such a cool player, so good. It's just like so fun. Great, like all the elements of a diva.
All the elements of a diva, but
Like,
it
if
was
you're gonna
never
be a
like
you
diva
better be
enough.
good at it.
Yeah,
You better be good at it.
he was like the first one who really did the flip into the end zone. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like the first guy who did the flip in the end zone, and it was nuts when he did it. He flipped right over a guy, and everyone like lost their mind for like a whole month. I'm pretty sure it won like an SB or something. Like he was the very first guy to do a front flip over someone. It was absolutely unreal. But he's fighting now too? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's on the card.
Good lord. This new fighting era is crazy. Like as someone who watched UFC when I was like 8 years old and like watched boxing with my dad back in the day, like this new era of fighting is absolutely insane. You have UFC fighters that could literally be like soldiers, like on the front line and like kill people with their bare hands. And you have boxers that like Canelo just won his 5th belt or something, like his 4th belt or like whatever. I didn't even watch that fight, but like, what an absolute animal, dude! Like it just keeps taking every belt. I don't know. This fighting is ridiculous nowadays. I love it.
I want to see who else is on this card.
Dude, the last card with the Jake Paul fight, there were so many fighters that I haven't seen in so long. Like, I forget who he fought, but Frank Mir was on that card. And Frank Mir used to be the guy who was battling for the belt in the UFC with Brock Lesnar in the heavyweight division. It was literally just those two. It was those two and a guy named Mirko Krop, who was Croatian. It was those three who always were fighting for the belt. And then he just came on and did a boxing match on the Jake Paul fight and got slaughtered in the first round. Like absolutely wrecked in the first round. Wasn't even close. Who else is on that card? Just start naming off names. I might know someone because it seems like this whole like Ben Askren thing where just take a retired UFC fighter who needs some money, put him on a boxing card real quick, just pay him a little bit of money to step in the ring, even more if they win. Like, I don't know how sustainable it is, but like after a while, people are just gonna get tired of watching shitty fights, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or is this like just a whole different like group of people that just want to watch for the show? Like I watch fights because I want someone to beat the living shit out of each other. Like I want to see some dude get knocked clean out on the mat, like not moving for a couple seconds. Like I want to see fight. But I don't know, maybe this new style of having 18 concerts before the fight starts, or
Right. Yeah.
Justin Bieber and you got Snoop Dogg announcing it and like all this shit. Like I don't know, man. Maybe style that's entertaining for a little bit.
So it's Chad Johnson versus TBD. Gene Pascal and Badu Jack.
Oh, don't know those.
And Jarrett Hurd versus Luis Ariz.
Nah, I don't know. Who do they got perform for the concerts? Which 18 people?
It's probably
Dude, that was the most frustrating thing I've ever watched at that last fight.
I hope they get Rick Ross.
Little Rick.
Maybach music. Just like have him come up. I don't know. That'd be fun.
That was seriously the most frustrating thing about that last fight was just like watching a concert for like 3 hours.
Yeah, and I feel like I missed one of the fights because I was like trying so hard not to look at the screen because it was making me mad.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, who's on now? Oh, who's on now? Oh, Justin Bieber's next, right? Justin Bieber's next, right? Like for the next 4 concerts. Like, oh, Justin Bieber's up next. Oh, wait, we've got Miley. Justin Bieber's up next. Oh, no, we've got Coldplay. Justin Bieber's up next. Oh, no, we've got this group that I've literally never even heard of in my entire life. No one knows who they are. Oh, okay, cool. Justin Bieber's next.
Kings of Leon do it too? Was Kings of
Yeah,
Leon?
it was Kings of Leon. It was Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon. It was, oh man. I guess, dude, like if that's how you sell things nowadays. But man, that just ruins fighting. a certain degree. Like, it's cool to have Snoop out there, like announcing now. Like that's cool. Snoop and Ice Cube, that was like hysterical. Like I love that. That's why I love as much as like UFC fans hate Joe Rogan. Like I love that he's doing that. He makes it entertaining for like the not common UFC fan. Like he's super entertaining. You know, he's high as a kite sitting there. He's freaking out. Like it's hysterical to watch. Like it's funny. And that's why I like the Snoop Dogg and the Ice Cube rather than fucking Tweedledum that have boxed 30 years ago and can barely talk because their head is so damaged and shit. Like, no, let's not have those guys. Like, I don't want those guys. Same reason that I don't want fucking Joe Buck and Chris Collinsworth on the damn screen. Like, no, give me someone entertaining, not someone who was a quarterback 80 years ago and like threw one completion his whole career. Shit pisses me off.
All right, so we've got a little bit of time left. I wanted to talk real quick off the record.
Off the record.
I'm talking about NBA futures bets because
that's a dangerous subject to be getting into.
It's dangerous, but man, the odds are weird. Because I mean, okay, so I've taken one already. I took the Nets about 2 months ago at plus 300.
Okay.
They're currently the favorites still at plus 200 now, which I think is.
Yeah, they're at 200 at the favorites. The Lakers. How are you telling me that the Lakers are number 2? I just don't get it. Like
and
I get
that the Clippers are 3.
It just makes no sense, dude. You should be putting money on Philly at plus 750 would be the no-brainer of the century.
I mean, shoot, the Jazz have the best record in the NBA. They're also plus 700. The Bucks are also 700.
Yeah, I'd be taking if I was doing futures right now for the NBA. I'd be doing my main one is Philadelphia, just because they look the most well-rounded team at the moment. I'd probably put like $2 on Atlanta just because they're hot. I'd put like $3 on New York, the Knicks. The Knicks are at plus 20,000.
How about I really like the Suns at plus 1,500.
Oh, I have the Suns. Are you on DraftKings?
On DraftKings, I'm on Action.
Oh, okay.
On DraftKings are 1,400. It says here.
Okay, I've got them at 2,500, but I'm on Covers.
Really, that's
Covers
even more.
Yeah, Covers doesn't have
that.
like accurate shit all the time.
That's great.
But like, man, I just having the Nets and the Lakers as the top 2 just does not seem like there should be. I think Philadelphia plus 750 is a steal right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's no clear better team right now. Like, granted, the Lakers and the Nets are both hurt, so like that takes a big part out of it. And the Sixers are healthy and have been healthy for a while. So that's part of it. But man, plus 750 for the Sixers, like, come on, they're number 1 in the East for a reason. Have you seen them lately? Embiid is unstoppable, and Ben Simmons is easily Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it's really not close, I don't think.
I love Ben Simmons. Other than that, though, some of them are weird. I mean, Pistons at 100 plus 120,000. Is it even possible for them to make them?
Oh, that's just a wasted bet. Like, is it literally even possible for them to make the playoffs?
I mean, it's probably possible for them to get the 10 seed, and then
I'm gonna somehow squeak it in.
Like if every other team loses out, then and they win out.
Do they have every team on? Do they have every team on here? I think they do.
Is it really
1, 2, 3? Yeah. So what? You can just literally bet on them to win the national or the NBA championship when they cannot actually win it. That seems a little bit shady. DraftKings.
On here, there's 6 teams that you can't bet on. I don't know which 6. You want the T-Wolves plus 150,000?
150,000, bro. I'll put $1 on you. A little late run from Cat and D'Angelo.
If I had to take one that wasn't the Sixers, I'd take the Suns.
If I had to take one that wasn't the Sixers, I would take. I mean, your first choice of any of these teams should be the Brooklyn Nets, because once James Harden becomes healthy, that team takes it to a whole nother level.
Playoffs are different.
Yeah. The Lakers are up there for a reason because they know the playoff Lakers will be a lot better.
True.
But Milwaukee and I would be taking Milwaukee or Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, Milwaukee's a nice
Or
bet
even
too.
Utah. I think Utah's dropped a little bit because Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley have been hurt a little bit, but they won't be come playoffs time. And they've been looking really like
That's number 1 in the West.
Rudy and Donovan Mitchell together is a hell of a combination.
Yeah.
That's a very good combination that I thoroughly like enjoying. Like watching.
Also, just saying, Warriors plus 20,000. If Steph's just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna ball out now.
I hate all of you. I heard what you were saying last season.
I heard
you.
I heard you. I've been listening. That kind of made me want to look at NHL futures real quick. So you got the best odds. See, dude, this makes no sense. How does the Avalanche have the best odds in the NHL to win the Stanley Cup? They're not the best team. They're not. They're a very good team. Very good. Top 5 easily. They're not the best team.
Yeah, they're not.
Like, you have a team that's not in the best division, does not play the best teams, and you think they're number 1, yet so get this, the best team in the NHL, the best division in the NHL is the Metropolitan.
Right.
And if you disagree, you're fucking stupid. It's Pittsburgh, Flyers, Boston, Washington, Islanders, Buffalo, and Devils. And all of those teams can win a game. Every single one. And then the top 3 of those teams are 3 of the top 10, 6, 7, 8. And you have Colorado, and then Vegas, and then Carolina, and Toronto, and then Tampa. The first team that pops up from the Metropolitan, and the Metropolitan wins it almost every single year, is at plus 1,100, and it's the Penguins. And then who follows is plus 1,700, the Boston Bruins, which I don't understand because it's fucking Boston Bruins.
Right.
The Capitals are plus 1,300. And the Islanders, who have had one of the greatest home records I've ever seen, and it's just in like a lapse right now, is at plus 1,600. That makes no sense to me. But you have Vegas and Colorado, Carolina, and Toronto. Literally all 4 teams from just not great divisions as your top 4. I don't agree.
Oh, I decided to take a look at NFL futures just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And man, do they know something? Because the Broncos have the 9th best odds.
Interesting.
And
wouldn't you think he would go higher, though, if they thought that he was actually going to go there?
well, the Packers are only at 8th best, and he's on there right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
interesting.
And I mean, that's not.
Dude, wouldn't you?
They're not there for Teddy Two Gloves, and they're not there for Drew Lock. Like
Kansas City's at plus 525, and Tampa Bay is at plus 650. Why wouldn't you just take $100 on both of those and just bet both of them?
Because it's the NFL.
And hope Tampa Bay pulls it out rather than Kansas City. But dude, those are clearly I'm sorry, it's still the NFL.
It's clear.
Tampa Bay has the next their 22 guys coming back, and Kansas City has basically their 22 guys coming back plus an offensive line.
You're totally right. Right now, there would be no reason for it not to be Buccaneers and Chiefs again, which is why it won't be Buccaneers and Chiefs
until week 3 when some fucking ridiculous happens.
Yeah.
And
or not even Also, the Rams have the 4th best odds. They really like Matthew Stafford, huh?
I don't know about that one.
They're
Where's my little Minnesota? Plus 3,300?
The 49ers these odds make no sense. I feel like if you
They must know what's gonna happen in this odd, or
you don't know shit, bro.
They must know rumors and shit that's going on, because this doesn't make any sense right now.
I feel like if I just messed around with putting money on these ones between 10 and 15, putting something on the Colts, maybe.
Dude, that's absurd though. You put That's so crazy. You have 5 teams to shoot at because Kansas City's at plus 525. You have 5 teams to shoot at with $100. So you go Kansas City, Tampa Bay. I'd be going the Colts.
Me too.
Just for fuck of it. I'd be going Buffalo, Baltimore.
It's not Buffalo solid.
I don't think I'd be going
would
Baltimore.
Not take Baltimore.
No, I don't think Baltimore's good enough.
You're 5.
Yeah. Kansas City, Tampa, Buffalo, the Colts. Who is my? I guess the Colts are kind of my dark horse, but San Fran, if they can figure out their shit.
Dude, I don't. Why are they so high?
I don't know. I mean, they have the pieces. They get Joey back, or Nick, whoever it is. If they get a QB, like maybe that's just judging that they might get a QB or something. Like, I don't know why the Rams are there. The Rams should not be there.
The Rams should not be there.
I don't think I would take a shot on the Rams. I think they're the perfect team was last year, and I think I agree they got the piece that they needed, but I just don't think it's going to be the same team that it was. I didn't think they were supposed to be that good this year, so I don't see them being.
It's always been they have Aaron Donald.
I mean,
and that's
he does kind of matter.
He's very, very good.
They're deep. I mean, it's Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, I think, is like the thing because.
And then the introduction of Matt Stafford, who I still don't know. I mean, he's better than Jared Goff, but how much better than Jared Goff is he?
I think that's more of like a let's find out kind of trade than a like this is the piece that we need. This is what we need. I think this is more of a Jared Goff is not going to do it.
They gave him a lot of stuff though.
They did give him a lot of stuff for that not to be like the piece that you're very like. Man, why don't you go to the draft? Why don't you trade up? You could have like with the shit that they traded away, they could have gotten Justin Fields or Trey Lance or
easily could add Mac Jones.
Easily. Oh, without a question. I'm talking about like even higher. Like that is a no-brainer that they could have gotten Mac Jones for 1 first-round pick, basically. I mean, fucking Patriots did. The Minnesota Vikings traded away out of that pick for like a less pick than a first round. So yeah, I think they definitely could have gotten Mac, and they could have taken a shot at Justin. Like sounds like a lot of teams did. A lot of teams. Which is interesting because there was number one question I heard coming out of this draft was how much teams were questioning Justin Fields.
Right.
Yet after like the whole draft and after like the post report, all that came out was how many teams called and tried to get Justin. Like everyone was trying to call and get Justin. So I don't know. There must have been like a lot of like.
It was a wacky draft.
Out there like, oh yeah, we're not really interested on the back and be like, we need him.
For sure.
Yeah.
The
So much
49ers
misinformation.
were sitting over there like.
What did the 49ers do?
I'm thinking Justin Fields at 3. Got you guys. You're going Mac Jones at 3. Got you guys.
Literally, the 49ers can be single-handedly blamed for the reason that Mac Jones is on the Patriots. They are the
100%.
number one reason that Mac Jones is now on the Patriots.
Yeah.
So if you don't like Mac Jones on the Patriots, you should be mad at San Francisco because it's completely their fault.
I have a sneaking suspicion that they're gonna play with Cam Newton and they're gonna play him for too long. I just feel like that's gonna happen.
Oh man, I don't know if Bill will allow it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if it's up to Robert, maybe. But I think if Bill has control, I just don't see him. He seems like a no politics kind of guy. Like he just
he liked Cam.
I think he does. I think he still likes Cam. And to be honest, Cam got a pretty unfair shot at his first try at the Patriots.
Definitely.
Like the worst Patriots team we've seen in so long. Most people opted out.
It's a whole different
the salary thing. They don't have any they didn't have anything to give him. Like just nothing. It's just completely different team. So maybe they let him go, and then once they realize like, okay, this is still the same team, like let's just try Mac anyways.
All right. If I had to do 5 of these.
Yeah, first 5, and then we're ending. We're at our 2 hours.
Of Chiefs Bucks. That's to make it so it probably might work. And then for fun, just in case. I would take Browns as plus 16. It's
Okay.
a good team, and if they don't have to play the Chiefs, I can see them getting to the Super Bowl through the AFC.
I agree.
If they don't have to play the Chiefs,
I think they could beat the Chiefs. They almost did beat the Chiefs.
they almost did beat the Chiefs. But I think everyone else they can match up with like straight up, like they can win.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what they did to Pittsburgh.
Without a
wasn't
head
close.
coach.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I would take the Browns. I would take the Packers on the assumption that they're being, because I really feel like, I don't know why, Aaron Rodgers plays in Green Bay.
I
Smoke and
agree.
mirrors. I think that could be a good value.
I'm just
pick.
saying though that even if he does come back to Green Bay, what have they done? It's the same team with probably less now.
Yeah, and they went to the NFC Championship game in the last 2 years, so I think that's a decent bet.
That's fair.
And then I also like the Colts, although I realize it's already 5. Ugh.
Mm.
Nah, I'm pulling the Browns. Nah, I'm sticking with those 5 and the Colts.
Okay. Man, I think the Colts is such a good pick this year. If anything else, like here, what is the Colts to like win? Oh, you can't do futures for
the division.
Yeah,
I can get them up here.
Okay, what's the odds for Colts to win their division?
Let me get that.
Because wait, who's in their division? Tennessee.
It's Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Houston. Colts are at plus 100 basically on most sports.
It's almost worth it. I guess Tennessee's in there. That's kind of scary.
Tennessee has a dog.
Tennessee's going to be really good.
Tennessee has a dog at plus 140. Also, if you believe in T-Law, plus 800 on the Jags.
I don't.
I think one of my favorites is always going to be the MVP futures. Because you go Mahomes, Rodgers, Allen, whatever. That makes sense, top 3. Then Matt Stafford at 4. Okay, could have a big Pat Stafford year.
Yeah.
Tom at 5. Dak at 6, which is like, God, I hate Dak. I mean, I don't hate Dak. He's a really good guy. He's really like, if he wasn't on the Cowboys, I'd have absolutely no resentment towards him.
I feel like your attitude towards Dak and my attitude towards Aaron are very, very, very similar. I know he's a good guy. I like him, but I just can't. I want him to go somewhere else so I can like him.
No, I don't even want. He is the most overrated player in the NFL.
Really?
What has he ever even played in the playoffs? Has he ever made like?
I don't know. I don't care about Dallas.
Done his entire life.
Besides throw for like 500 yards a game.
Yeah, he did it for 4 weeks and then he got hurt. Like, you know what? Fitz does that. Like, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
You gotta do something, man. I don't know. To come off of that injury, to never. Has he ever won more than 9 games in a season? Like, and for him to be above Lamar, above Russ, above.
Yeah, no. That seems a little ridiculous.
And coming off of a brutal injury.
Yeah, that was nasty. That was a terrible injury.
So I don't know. Lamar right after him, also at plus 16. I kind of like. Herbert, I feel like it's too sketch. 2000. Where's I took my Carson Wentz MVP bet. Let me see what I got it at. I want to see if it went up.
Yeah, let's get that at like plus 2000.
Nah, man. Let's see. Still open. I was at plus 3,300.
Jesus.
And now it seems to be at like 4,000 generally. So.
Wow. I would not be. If I'm a sports book, I am not putting that at that odds.
Okay.
I'm probably capping it about 1,500, and I'm like, oh, we'll see what happens here. Because literally, Carson Wentz.
10, 11, 12.
I still think Carson Wentz could come on and have an amazing season.
Jalen Hurts is the 16th on this list. It goes Carson, Christian McCaffrey, Jalen Hurts, and then Derrick Henry.
What? That is the most.
Jalen Hurts has won one game.
You're telling me Derrick Henry, the guy who almost probably could have won an MVP.
He could have won MVP last year.
Wow.
He had last year. He maybe didn't win MVP, but he had the most historic season for any player that played last year.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And now he can catch.
Oh my god.
Apparently, all he's been working on in the offseason is how
Hands,
like route
baby.
running and hands, which is scary because now you have a linebacker playing running back who can also catch the ball.
Kirk, he's at 20.
Don't talk to me about him.
Deshaun's at 19, which I'm like, so what's
If he's
going
not
on?
in jail.
What's going on with him? What's going? Is that,
If he's not in jail.
what? I might. Hey, Joey Burrow is at plus 5,000 right now, and that seems like the kind of guy that if you're looking for a
Do you think he
dog-
comes? Do you think he comes back for the start of the season though?
Yeah,
Is that an injury that he'll make for the start?
I think so. That's a good question actually, but I was under the impression that he would, but
I mean, he tore his ACL.
it was early though.
Yeah, what was
Early
it, like
enough.
week 6, week 5?
I don't. Yeah, it was. I think it was 5. I think it was during. It was either during week 4 or week 5. He
Well, sir?
expects to be ready for the start of the
Russ, okay.
season. Okay, this is from April. Let's see. Yeah, they seem to think he'll be ready for the start of the campaign, but like, also, why wouldn't you say that right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Gotta love future bets. Don't ever take them
future bets.
Don't ever take them.
Don't ever take them
win
if you want to
money.
yeah, or just don't want to blow $10 that you might see in like a year. You know,
The Steelers are plus 400 to win the AFC North.
the Steelers are like the 20th for winning the Super Bowl, which is kind of weird.
Very weird.
They're way down there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are. They are like 20th, 20 something on that list.
Here's something funny. I don't know. I'm just looking on Action. They have all the futures, and I clicked on regular season total passing yards, and you can only bet on Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson. But Trevor Lawrence under 4150.
That's absurd amount.
Zach Wilson under 3800.
I would much
Take both of those. And then
Take
Trevor
the-
Lawrence, you can also take over under on
I'll take the under on both of those. Thank you.
touchdown passes. These are only on your. Oh, I don't even. Looks like you can only place this at Parks.
Of course, Parks allows it. All right. Tomorrow, what do we have for tomorrow? More picks, obviously. We'll go over how we did today. I think it's gonna be a good day. The board's kind of shitty, but I don't think I'm gonna play a ton. I think it's gonna be very specific, concentrated bets. Tomorrow's a mystery.
Yeah, hopefully we
Find out for tomorrow.
We unravel maybe a little more Aaron Rodgers. Maybe get some more news on
Yeah,
that.
I'm hoping that's kind of like a daily update thing.
Yeah,
That,
see if
that's gonna be
Shefty
fun.
has anything to say, because he's been taking a lot of heat.
I'm sure something stupid will happen in sports today,
I'm sure,
as it always does.
Jake Paul's gonna say something. We'll have
Yeah,
something to talk
steal
about.
another hat or something. Also, going off of that, I saw a video between Logan and Jake when they were like flying back,
Yeah.
and Logan's just fucking pissed, like so mad because there's a video of Logan calling Jake like as soon as he heard that he was banned from his fight, and he's like, "Dude, you're banned from the fight," and Jake's like, "I don't give a fuck," and Logan's like, "Yeah, I do," and Jake just doesn't say a word. And then Jake shows up at the airport or like at their jet or whatever with like dark sunglasses on because he's got a massive black eye. And like they're both sitting in the jet ready, like, or like maybe they're in the jet or whatever. And Logan's like just staring at him, pissed, like waiting for him to like talk. And he's like, "What is like why? Hey, why are you being so stupid?" And Jake looks at him with his sunglasses and starts raising his hand and goes, "Got your hat," and takes his hat, and Logan stands up and just starts fucking beating the shit out of him on the jet. It's so funny. It's actually, I hate those guys. Like, I don't like Jake Paul, but man, this shit is so entertaining, dude. Like, I am here for it. No, it's hysterical. They're like sitting in the jet, and Logan's just staring at him. And you got your hat? Logan's pissed, just starts standing up, just wailing on him. It's so funny. Well,
so we'll definitely get something new with that.
we'll get something new. We'll get something new. Well, fellas, first
Fellas.
inaugural day of YouTube was a success, and it will be Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 Eastern every day. We'll see you Tuesday through Friday, I guess.
That's what we got.
Hit him with that. Hit him with that outro beat. Hit him with that
Hey.
outro beat.
For your source for premium picks and parlays, go to heyfellas.co. If you like any of the merch we're wearing, go to heyfellas.co. All that's all on there. Check it out. You want to be the number one fella? Check it out. Check it out. And yeah, let's send them out. We'll send them out with the.
Hit him with a beat.
Send them out, boys. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Stay humble.
Stay hungry.
Stay woke.
Hit him with that beat, Shawnee D.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one, fellas.